And I believe we are live. Hello, everybody. Hello and welcome. You're in the right place if you're looking for a quick webinar today talking about a very relevant, interesting topic, building the foundation for AI. So today I'm joined by Richard from Data8, and we will have this conversation about the importance of quality data in CRM.
Yeah, well, thank you, Luca. Good afternoon and welcome, everyone. Looking forward to it.
Yes, we might actually give it another minute or so while people join. I'm keeping an eye. Yeah, it's exactly on the dot on the hour. So we'll say welcome if you're joining right now. Again, you're in the right place if you're looking for conversation about building the foundation for AI, as you can see on screen. We will start in a second. We will be exploring the importance of quality data in CRM. I'm repeating myself, but as you appreciate, I'm buying some time, making sure that everybody that wants to join has a chance, and then we'll kick off in a second. Okay, it's 1 minute past the hour, so almost there. We have a couple more joiners now. Hello and welcome. Hello, hello. Thank you for joining us. We're talking about AI. Might be a few AI bots joining. How about that? Okay, it's 2 minutes on my clock after the hour, so I guess we can kick off. And again, welcome everybody. We're live on LinkedIn today. I'm joined by Richard from Data8. My name is Luca from Native Video, and today we're talking about building the foundation for AI, the importance of quality data in CRM. Introducing ourselves, Richard.
Thank you, Luca. Thanks for your introduction. Yeah, my name's Richard Hartland. I'm the co-founder and COO of Data8. A little bit about Data8, just a quick bio. Data8 been going about 18 years now. We're all about data quality. What we do is we help our customers get the very best out of their data quality by either capturing their data correctly or cleansing their data once it's in place. So we work with sort of many technologies, but we help make sure, and we'll give you a bit of a demo as we go through this, how you can capture great quality data and how you can cleanse data that is already in your CRM. That's what we're all about. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Richard. And just on my side, my name is Luca Benini. I'm the co-founder and CEO as well, but another company called Native Video. And today I'm here to talk to you about a specific product that we launched fairly recently. As a company, we go back not as much as Data8, but a few years, 5 years in total. And we're all about video, audio, and AI, unlocking new types of content, and a ton of it within Salesforce, within your favorite CRM. And today with Richard, we will be focusing on data and AI. And that's what we'll be covering. You can see it on screen. Today, we will start with a quick overview of the state of data. We have a couple of stats for you. We will also look into data governance and why we believe, and hopefully you'll agree, that is more important than ever. Then we'll look at some of the challenges with data capture, and we'll look into solutions that would help companies like yours and mine to add better data, more quality of data into your Salesforce CRM. We will take a look at a couple of demos as well, and we will be welcoming your questions to close off. So all in all, you should expect another 25 minutes, around 25 minutes of hearing from us on this subject. So Richard, what's the state of the data?
Well, thank you. Yeah. Well, these stats here are all really much saying the same thing. 87% of analytics and IT leaders say advances in AI make data management a high priority. 92% agree on the need for trustworthy data, and 86% of leaders agree that AI outputs are only as good as the data inputs. And so all of these three things are sort of building towards the same thing as saying that if you want AI to work effectively, if you want Einstein to be able to make good assumptions and suggest good things back to you in your Salesforce app, then you need to have great data inside it, because otherwise it's not going to make sense. And so 87% of people really recognize that fact, and so I think that's why we're all here today.
Yeah, that totally. I mean, it's easy to agree on these stats, and to the extent that I would really like to understand and have a conversation with that 13% that would not necessarily agree that data management is a high priority.
Yeah,
right
absolutely.
Now. Yeah. We're not just saying that, right? So we have
indeed, yeah.
Himself.
Mark Benioff himself here, recognizing the fact just last June, back in the Salesforce AI Day, every customer is preparing for generative AI being the kind of AI that we're seeing these days, these ChatGPT, the stuff that's generating language and images and things like that. In order for it to work well, you've got to get your data together. A huge part of all of those things, those ChatGPT, is making sure that the data that it reads and understands and trains its models on is good. So you have to organize and prepare the data. So we're reiterating this point that the data quality, as always, is really important for AI to work really effectively.
Correct. And actually, don't take Luca and Richard's word on it. It's definitely out there, and hopefully by this point you agree on that side. But on the other side, as you're looking on the screen, we know that there are challenges that come with data organization, data management, and we can see a couple of stats here on screen. 69% of companies struggle to access all the data needed to run AI programs. I'm actually surprised that that's actually not higher than that. And the struggle then extends in a similar percentage to all those companies that are trying to cleanse their data in a usable format, be that for whatever they need the data for, but in the context of our conversation, preparing them for AI. And then I love this stat with 42%. So 1 in 4 out there is experiencing data hallucinations. It would be interesting actually to have another LinkedIn Live altogether to talk to these people. It must be fun. Interacting with people that are hallucinating on data. So, Richard, what are you seeing across your clients' organizations with regards to data?
Yeah, as the slide says, it indeed doesn't take much to spoil your data. So we do a lot of work with clients. So not only do we sort of have these data capture tools to make sure you verify your data on the way in, we also work with full databases and cleanse them. And we see all of these kind of things. So we'll quite often do a full data quality audit of a customer database and see the kind of problems there, the duplications. So duplicate records where, they're not exactly the same, but you and I as a human know that they clearly are the same. They're the same person, a very similar address, which is enough to be the same, or they've moved addresses but they've got the same mobile and email address, but a different address. So they clearly are the same. You can see an awful lot of old data, people holding on to data for years and years and years, erroneous data. I always like the kind of thing you always see where someone in IT says, don't be deleting accounts because that's causing us problems. Someone's going to delete an account at some point. So they sort of disable your rights to delete account, and you end up with them finding another way. So you've got sort of 20,000 records in there that say, -- do not use after their name or something like that. So you see all sorts of wrong data in the wrong place, or the email in the telephone, typos and dates in the wrong format. So we see all of these things, and all of these things sort of make it harder for you to make good decisions about where you need to go, and would make it harder for AI to work as well. So yeah, that's what we see.
Indeed, and I would actually, think that people, and I would be, extending to people that are joining this type of conversation today, that if, we've all experienced some of these challenges across our organization, and we probably all have a couple of horror stories like the ones you're just referring to. Indeed, we are talking about the challenges that are associated with data, and We are therefore talking about data themselves, but also the people that are responsible for helping maintaining data sets. And what we like this representation here because taking it as an example, customer-facing people, in this example again, salespeople, we are giving them a lot of responsibilities with regards to our data, but at the same time, we are actually overburdening them with a lot of responsibility in relation to creating and updating and keeping data in order, to the extent that we're then limiting their ability to do what they're actually paid for, which would be selling. You've probably seen stats like this before across different studies, but it's becoming even more imperative that we find ways to automate data maintenance on the one hand and automate and help the data input on the other hand, so that the two things will ultimately work together and deliver on the promise of clean data, structured data, right content, right context feeding into the AI to make it a competitive advantage. And that's exactly what we're discussing on today's call. And to do that, I'm actually handing over to Richard for a quick demo of how they are taking care of the important part of automating data maintenance across your CRM. So over to you, Richard.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so the building, am I sharing? Are we good? I hope you confirm, Luca, I'm sharing there?
I don't know.
You don't know? All right. Well, I trust I am. It does say I'm sharing on my screen, so
there we go.
I believe I am. Then, so feeding back really on your point on that last slide there, Luca, which is excellent and showing how that breakdown of time works. There's a huge amount of time spent sort of doing manual data entry, making sure that your records are researched, collected correctly, and entered correctly. And if you don't spend the time in that, you don't have the good quality data. So some of the tools that I'm going to view here are going to help us do that in a much more streamlined way. So here's a fairly classic out-of-the-box Salesforce implementation. And what I'm just going to do is hit new contact because, maybe I'm a salesperson, maybe I've got someone on the phone or who's trying to register with me or talk to me. And I want to show some of the tools and techniques that we have in general, which we can embed into your technology, whether that be your website or your call center, or in this case, your Salesforce CRM. So first thing is, I say to someone, so what's your address? Then they say it's 42 Beamish Close, Appleton. I go, whoa, and I start typing it in. So I start typing it in as I heard it. I didn't go back and ask them to say what they want. I typed Beamish there. I don't know whether you can see, but I typed it BEE. Fuzzy matching has managed to suggest that there's only one thing that matches that, and so I can just select that from the list. And I've got, in a very Google search sense there, I've got a really quick way of entering a few characters and capturing a full clean address: 42 Beamish Close, Appleton, Warrington, full postcode added, and the country. I can do it in various different ways, so I don't need to do it there. Maybe a more traditional way would be to enter the postcode, and then I can see all the people in there and I can choose my address, or I can even do it in a kind of drill down kind of way here where I start off with the town and then choose the suburb and then choose the street, and then finally choose the building number. All of those work. Indeed, we're also sort of integrated with what 3 words. So if someone comes along with a what 3 words thing there, waving.behave.echo is the center of my house. But if I click that, immediately it comes back and it suggests that's the nearest house at that point. So any of those ways, and we've collected that full address using a tool built into your new contact form. But we'll go further than that as well. So, because the other thing that I want to do is take his name, and then I'm going to start saying, what's your telephone number? And I'll say, yeah, I'm 0151 355 4555. Thank you very much. And what's your email? It's richardh@dataecho.com. Thank you. And your mobile is 07886 4701 47. Oh, I can't even remember my mobile. 476170. There you go. So I've collected all those details whilst I've been talking to the person on the phone, and I go to the bottom and hit save. And what we're doing now is validating all of those pieces of data, and it's come back and validated all of those in a real-time way. So it said, firstly, that the home phone number is wrong and the email address is wrong. So the home phone number, I missed 5 off that. Sorry about that. So I got that wrong, and I got the email address there as data-8. Should be a hyphen in there, so we put that correct. And 07886476170 is what it should have been. And once I've typed all that in correctly and hit save, I create a nice contact, and we can move on with good quality, accurate data. So the whole idea is to A, minimize the number of clicks you need to make, and B, make sure that data you've got is valid and you correct it whilst you're still in touch with them, whilst you're still speaking to them, so that you can put that data correctly into your Salesforce. I just move on and show you kind of how it works in a more of a B2B environment if you're collecting accounts. So somebody has come here and created Data8 as an account, but put absolutely nothing into it, just put the account name in. So how easy is it to kind of add data using our stuff? Well, I want to add the address. I can just search on Data8 and see the address there. And it's added a full address just from that. We also link in with other data sets here. So what I'm going to demonstrate now is how we can link in with company's house type data to give you a legal linkage to the legal entity and a credit rating, so that you can understand how much credit you might want to give them. So all you do once you've got the business name and address collected is click Find Business. That immediately has done a search there. It's done a search on Data8 at our postcode and come back with a candidate here, Data8 Limited at this company's house number. All I'm going to do is click OK, and I've collected and I've linked it now to that full address, that full company's house record. It's given me a credit rating there, and there's loads of data behind the scenes here. So I can see what their SIC code is on company's house. I can see their credit limit, how many employees they've got. I can see all sorts of data. I can see their directors and their shareholdings and their financial information going back 5 years. And so what I'm really powering here after just a few clicks is a really deep dive into the company, giving you every possible chance to understand and analyze your data later on as best as possible. There are a few other things in there, and one of the things I just wanted to kind of just highlight is that not only are we limited to doing these in kind of real time as you're doing here, but we can also fairly uniquely schedule these things. So if you wanted to have a cleanse of all your records, for example, another service I haven't talked about just yet is perhaps you might want to TPS check all the telephone numbers in your database, but you want to make sure they're always up to date. So you schedule that to do a nightly or a weekendly job to extract and check all of your telephone numbers in your database and update them with the most up-to-date and accurate TPS status. Does that all make sense, Luca?
100%. And actually, what you're describing there is a very powerful, in-depth help to get, especially I guess at the start of the relationship, the creation, and you showed us the creation of an account, the creation of a contact, and then it kind of moves on because it keeps the data up to date, which is very, very powerful indeed.
Yeah, absolutely. That journey over time is
exactly
we're finding a lot of success with.
But I guess you're also working on the efficiency element, right? Because that quick time saving and the reassurance that the address is correct and it's being typed out as soon as I started typing the address or the name of the company, and it kind of gets the information automatically. That's incredibly powerful from a productivity perspective, I guess. Talking about productivity, if we can switch over to my screen, I will pick up on where you left off and kind of take a look into, okay, so now we are in our CRM, we've engaged with a new contact, we've engaged with a new organization, and we typically have a lot of interactions with them. We want to engage, converse, sell, upsell, continue our partnership with our clients. And that typically takes place in our Salesforce, as we've seen, and it feeds on continuous updates. And that's exactly what the solution that I'm about to show will help our users do. So if on the one hand, with Data 8, you can clean and keep your data clean, with our information, you can continuously grab users' perspective directly in your Salesforce. Our solution is called Vinton, and one of its main functionalities is actually shown on my screen right now. Just confirming you're looking at my screen. Am I good to go? I am, perfect. So you're looking at a contact, Mr. Luke, and I just had a call with Mr. Luke, and our solution has granted that and made sure that my conversation with Luke has been captured with its full transcript and the full video, and then that it's been kind of transformed and to help me make sense of the conversation. So I don't need to listen or relive the whole conversation with the transcript, but I can look at notes that are generated in a very clever way. Now, the way you've probably seen note takers before. They're kind of table stakes right now. You're probably using one, maybe in this call as well. On your LinkedIn Live, you invited your AI call agent. The peculiarity of what we do, obviously, it goes a lot, side by side with what we were saying, the theme of our call today, which is capturing data directly in your CRM and making sense of them. What we do with our solution is that by having built it in Salesforce, we are automatically adding the right information in the right place. In this case, we're capturing a summarization of an update call, a project strategy call with our clients directly in Salesforce. We're using the participants' information to find those people across our organization, see if they're actually part of an account. If they're a contact, they will be part of an account. If they're participants into an opportunity, if they have a contact role into an opportunity, so that we can distribute the information accordingly. Furthermore, we're not only helping doing the admin, very important for our data foundational element, we're also helping on the productivity side. What we're doing, therefore, we are helping our clients automate and activate their follow-ups in a very easy way by drafting a follow-up email directly from the conversation saying, hey, it was great to see you. These are the things that we discussed. These are the things that we agreed. Let's make sure that we follow up on these next steps. And actually, talking about next steps, we also capture them in the form of a list that can also be transformed into a task. So again, from the very simple information, very relatively straightforward information of the complete call, we extract a lot of information that then helps keep the conversation going, keep our Salesforce up to date with all the latest information. But then it is true that not all updates are exchanged on a video call. So what if I have I bump into my client and they provide me an information, a quick update on, what the CFO is thinking about with regards to our deal. So what I can do, I can actually capture the evidence of that meeting, the information that was exchanged with my client directly in an audio note and say, hey, the CFO is looking at the deal, we have the budget, we are good to go. So let's hope we have an update like that, today, later today in our day. But for the sake of this demo, it's kind of maybe obvious now that you understand a bit more about our technology, how this piece of information, this piece of content that we've just created in the same way that was captured on a video call and brought into Salesforce, this is now being elaborated from a media, from an audio, into a transcribed text, which will populate directly the contact and the opportunity related to this contact, but as well will help us be a bit more productive. enriching the data, enriching the information that we capture in our CRM, that we feed eventually to Einstein, to the AI that will come, a bigger concept of AI maybe in this case, which will help us be a lot more on the ball and will create that competitive advantage based on the presence of data, presence of context, full context, connection, and information in our Salesforce. As you can see, that update has now been created. I've received a notification also in my emails, so that if I search for stuff in my inbox, I will find that information there as well. And as mumbling update, clean summarization, so everybody from my organization can come here, take a look at it, and understand exactly what data is relevant, what's the latest update with regards to my partnership with this particular contact. It's also helped me create a follow-up email. It's probably 80% there, helping me follow up. Hey, it was great to hear that the CFO has confirmed the deal and we're going ahead with our partnership. And then as next steps, we have, again, the little helper, Vinton, our little helper, listing out for us things that we should take care of, making sure that we stay on top of our follow-ups, and we close the loop with this deal that apparently is definitely in the making with the CFO green light. Does this make sense? You can see that kind of a different type of data, but nonetheless enriching the opportunity of bringing more updates, cleaner context into Salesforce.
It looks really impressive, Luca, and it's really very exciting, isn't it? With all of this AI coming from Einstein and the various other places, you can imagine how, as the next iteration of that moves forward, that it can start telling you that you've had several deals here where one of the concepts of the calls was I don't know, price or some other objection, and therefore it can start suggesting for you the reasons why things are looking good or looking bad, or indeed if you wanted to say to it, find me some more leads that are in the same industry sector as the one that I just closed this morning, then you can if you've got great quality data there which has been captured, and you've got that SIC code or whatever piece of data that you want to profile on being captured at the point of entry, then the AI stands a great chance of being able to spot that pattern and give you that information.
Exactly. And conversely, if that information is not there, the risk is, the lowest level of risk is that you'll be behind, like you're not going to leverage the impact that artificial intelligence could have. But the worst case scenario is that it starts to make things up based on the scant data that is across your CRM, and that's probably even worse than just being left behind when you're chasing ghosts, with your recommended next steps and whatever interpretation of the lack or the gaps that you have in your data brings back after an AI run. I think all the people on this call agree that AI will come in big within the next couple of years, maybe, Richard?
Yeah, indeed, yeah. I think so.
That will be a massive disruption. And
yeah, I think as people talk about the fact that AI is going to take your job away, I'm not sure it's going to take your job away, but it certainly means you'll probably lose your job to another provider that uses AI more intelligently than you do. If you don't keep up with it, if you don't use it, then I think that's much more what we're going to see in the early days is the companies that use AI well will thrive over the ones that fail to adopt it.
100%. I'm conscious of the time. Do we have questions as we get towards the half-hour mark? We might have had some questions asked along during.
I've just joined to let you know if there's questions. I think if you could answer a question, Luca, about storage of the recording.
Yeah, classic. Very, very good question, actually. We get asked that a lot. One of the key solution or features as part of our solution is that we take care of storage and streaming of a video file. Salesforce is not designed to cater to large files or to hold or stream large files. And that's why we've built our platform so that we can store securely externally in AWS, in a dedicated AWS, all the video files, and only bring the data that comes with the video in and across Salesforce. So very good question. We are taking care of it.
And I guess for both parties, the pricing. So Richard, perhaps you could go first.
Okay, thank you. Well, it varies. Largely, the pricing is dependent on the volume that you're going to do. So you have things that are pretty cheap, a few pence per click on some of these validations, like a lookup of an address or an email validation or telephone validation, all the way through to if you're a major sort of provider in the UK market, you might want to license it for as much as you can eat, and we're talking quite a few tens of thousands or something like that. So it's a massive range. But essentially, what that means is that it's affordable for your entry point based on volume. You pay for what you use, and you don't need to have a massive license, which takes you way over what you need. That we can generally find an appropriate way of licensing it and costing it for you.
That makes sense. And from our side, just to answer that question quickly, as you've seen in the demo, we're focused on helping users. So the user license is the key for our solution and our pricing, which means that it's straightforward per user per month pricing. It's actually $25 per user per month, and it goes down as the volume grows, of course.
And just one more question: how does Data8 compare to like the sort of deduplication side of things to Salesforce's sort of inbuilt capabilities?
Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you, Catherine. So we have the ability to dedupe your database in whole. We have some very clever dedupe rules that you can build up on a much more sort of tailored basis. So if what you define as a duplicate is somebody at the same name with either the same mobile or the same email address and lives in the same town, you can create that kind of rule. It depends what you want to do. You can create any kind of rule that you want. You might have some specific business rules that are necessary in your environment, and we can implement those. And we work quite consultatively with you. We either train you how to define these rules yourselves, or we provide staff that are trained in sort of building the requirements up and implementing them for you. And then we can run that on your Salesforce as a batch process on a regular basis. We quite often do this for data migrations, so building Salesforces in the first place, moving to a new version, or doing a one-off cleanse, or sometimes even people are really keen to keep, if they've got a problem that they can't get rid of dedupes and they keep coming back, then they might want to do sort of a monthly spin where they remove duplicates. But it's really that fuzzy matching, this sort of advanced detection of duplicates based on all of our experience in finding things that are the same, which aren't exactly the same. That is really where we excel.
Richard, Catherine, what do you think? We're a couple of minutes over the half-hour mark. I am keen to share, like Richard, right, Richard, that we want to invite people to continue this conversation with us. Take a look at a quick demo of our solution, maybe so you can actually show that amazing dedupe solution that you showed us a bit more in depth. And on our side, we can take a look at Vinton together and see if it's of interest after a one-to-one demo. And for all the people that would join a one-to-one demo within the next, I think we are saying a couple of weeks or 10 days. Actually, a couple of weeks. Look at that. Tuesday, 20th of May is on my screen. We will be drawing the prize, which is a £200 voucher to send you off on holiday to use against your next holiday. How about that? So we're looking very forward, generous. Right, Richard?
Very generous. We'll be keen to talk to anyone that's interested.
Definitely. And I guess I speak for everybody. We're keen to have these type of conversations with people that are facing these challenges and are actually looking at them, the data challenges, preparation for AI challenges, and looking at them as opportunities for their organization to keep up and actually get ahead of the competition through solutions like ours. So definitely keen to engage, join up for one-on-one demo. You can drop your comment in the LinkedIn Live right now. We'll connect with you. I think you will find a way, I guess, to connect with us if you want, and hopefully we'll welcome you on your next holiday. Look at that. Any more questions? Any more comments, Catherine, that you're seeing in the?
No more there. So
fantastic.
In the stream. Thank you for those who joined. Thanks.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
Luca,
Richard,
for a great demo. Much appreciated that chat.
Thank you. Thank you.
Cheers, everyone.
Bye-bye.